What have we been able to do with it? Nigeria is rightly positioned to harness them and take us to the El Dorado that we are all envisaging. What are the issues and challenges facing Nigerian blue economy? One, limited infrastructure. Most of our ports, they are outdated. You discover that when you get to Morocco, one of the leading ports in Africa, within 3 days, a container is cleared. But the first is the case in Nigeria. You see investors, importers paying demurrages and all the rest of them with a lot of bureaucratic bottlenecks. Environmental degradation, pollution, unregulated coastal development, overfishing, and 60% of our mangroves in Nigeria have been destroyed by unregulated activities. Inconsistent regulatory framework. We have fragmented policies, they are not coordinated, and that is where NIPS will come in. As the think tank of Nigerian policy, NIPS is capable of formulating policy that will really drive this sector. You are the custodian of the policy framework of Nigeria. So that's why I say I've come to ignite fire. Let's start the fire from here. So going forward, you might be saying, well, we have written a lot of policy, but this government, I'm telling you, I'm a director on grade level 17 in Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. The way to go this time around is not as usual before. I'm telling you, the government is ready to use blue economy to drive this economy. Any paper, any research topic, any paper that is studiously put together will be looked into. I can assure you of that. Lack of skill and competent workforce. Our educational institutions lack marine-related training. We don't have marine biology, ocean engineering, environmental management, maritime logistics. We discovered that it had to before now. That's why, as parents, we have to let our children know that the world is shifting from our outdated courses we were reading in those days. That is it. We have to veer up towards where the world is tilting towards. There's a city called Cecil City in China. I got to that place. I spent 7 days in China, 2018. Federal government sent me on the inauguration. And I discovered that city alone is a port city. And the activities going on in that city is mind-blowing. Just a port, certain city. The multiplier effect of what is going on there from marine, from engineering, from logistics, from everything going on there, you wonder, wow. And we are busy fighting here in Nigeria when God has bestowed with natural resources that is capable of really moving the nation forward. So let us try to tell our world that the world has shifted from the archaic and outdated courses, that they have to really teach their brains towards studying courses relating to maritime. There are a lot of things there. There are a lot of sectors you can major in. You see logistics, you see engineering, you see environmental, you see whatever. There are so many sectors there. Another key issue is insecurity in coastal regions. GOG, Gulf of Guinea. It's a dangerous maritime regions, which we know. A lot of ties are going on there in the Gulf of Guinea. And piracy, illegal fishing activities, oil bunkering, other maritime crimes. This disrupts trade and it deters investors from investing. What are the solutions to these challenges, what can we do as a nation? And the participants of COS 47, you have to bed the cat. Thank God it's a new ministry created just last year, August. It's not up to a year. So we are expecting the institute to partner with the ministry. And by the time I get back to Abuja, by the grace of God, with what I've seen, I have to write my report that the ministry and all the agencies, NIMASA, MPA, Shippers Councils, need to fund research to be undertaken by the participant so that they can put up something meaningful that will drive the economy. Because when you look at the advanced societies, the bedrock of any development is policy, isn't it? That is the foundation. It's policy. So what are the transformative solution strategies that could be adopted to drive the economy? Investment in human capital development. And this could be two. One, specialized training programs and private-public partnership arrangement. We're expecting that the government should sponsor people, participants, students that have excelled, to go outside the country, to go and see things practically, and learn and return home to come and domesticate those policies. We also need to encourage private partnership to be able to invest in this sector. We are a lot of unutilized funds in private hand, but because of policy somersault, because nobody wants to come and invest his fortune in something that one government will come and tomorrow they will say something else. So we are expecting that there will be a coordinated approach and effective policy in such a way that private sectors will be encouraged to invest their fortunes. Number two, research and development initiatives. We expect that Nigerians will be turned to marine research hubs for oceanography, renewable energy, and sustainability research management. With the quantum of aquatic resources available in Nigeria, we're supposed to have the Nigeria Maritime Academy. We have to change from the theoretical aspect to practical terms. What can we do practically to affect the communities, to affect the economy? Not theory this time around. We need to see in practical terms. Then investment in sustainable fishing and aquaculture research, so that we can protect Nigeria's ecosystem. We need to do that because I think before the creation of this particular ministry, I think the way the local farmers do fishing in Nigeria from that axis, I don't think it can really help our economy, because you see women in Niger Delta area, what they do, is there any support? Is there any coordinated approach? Can this really affect the economy? Can it leapfrog the economy? It's absolutely no. So what can we do differently to upscale these activities? Number three, infrastructure development. Modern port facilities. This we have mentioned, comparing Morocco and Nigeria. Trade efficiency will reduce delays, lowering costs of maritime operations. We have to invest massively in infrastructure. When you get to Tinker Island Port, I was there last year on official assignment. Thank God for now, we have cranes that are lifting containers. There are still a lot of manual. The world has gone beyond that. When a ship is backed under 24 hours, no matter the consignment, it's offloaded. It's technology. So there must be massive investment in infrastructure for us to get there, so that we reduce delay and so that we can also compete globally. Then number four, strengthening regulatory framework. NIPS should also come in this place. The regulatory framework, participants have to also research on how to midwife the activities of the port operators, the private investors, the government police, all relevant stakeholders in these sectors. There must be a coherent policy development, not zigzag, not lopsided. There must be coherent policies. That's why I say all the sectors of the maritime industries must be researched by participants, so that at the end of your course, you have a one document that has addressed all the sectors. And going forward, I think government will make use of it. And then there must be community involvement. All the coastal regions, all the communities, there must be buy-in, so that there will be no question of who and who, as we used to have in oil-producing communities, youth restfulness, and all the rest of them. Then enhancing maritime security. You can use satellite images monitoring. So the world has gone beyond carrying troops and manual. You can stay in a room. In Israel, I saw it at Hebrew universities. You can stay in your room and be monitoring what is going on with drones and all the rest of them. Technology has revolutionized the world, so you should be able to monitor what is going on. So thank God, Nigerian Army, the Navy, the Air Force, all of them are represented here. So these are areas that the participants will research into. Then regional and international cooperation to combat piracy. There must be there must be unity of purpose. There must be friendliness with our neighbors in the Gulf of Guinea. There must be cooperation, there must be interaction between and among the neighboring countries, sharing coastal borders with us, so that we'll be able to combat piracy. Now, if policy, you are an expert in policy, is authoritative plan of action to the promotion and occasion of selected value which is deemed by governmental authority to be in the common interest of the people. Then NIPS should partner with Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy to develop policies that promote healthy, flexible, and productive ocean environment. This is very, very necessary. What are the coordinated approach to unlock opportunities? All these opportunities, what are the approach we can adopt? One, engaging local communities. That is inclusion in decision making, a sense of ownership and responsibility. We should engage the local communities. The government must find a way of ensuring that all the communities along the coastal regions are carried along. It's very, very important. Number two, strategic partnership for innovation. There must be collaboration between the private sector so that they can invest massively, because the government may not be able to do it alone. There are opportunities there. A lot of opportunities. Number three, there must be regional collaboration, as I've said, managing shared marine resources for security and sustainability. So, on the whole, when we look at the whole gamut of the maritime sector, we could see that nobody can work in silos. We need the private sector, we need the government, we need all relevant stakeholders, the importers, the academia, the research fellows, for us to create an omnibus document that will be useful to drive the economy. What are government intervention? What have they done so far in the ministry since it was created last year? Modernization of Western and Eastern ports to enhance transport. Logistics by improving cargo handling, reducing turnaround times, increasing capacity for larger vessels. Since the creation of the ministry last year, August, the ministry, under the leadership of the present minister, has been trying to ensure that the port is modernized, that all the outdated equipment are removed and replaced with better, sophisticated, and modern ones that can compete with what obtains in other climes. And this will assist in streamlining trade, lower logistics costs, and strengthen Nigeria's regional and global competitiveness, while creating about 20,000 direct jobs. So, it is envisaged that in the next couple of years, by the grace of God, if the proper policy is put in place and all relevant stakeholders are on the same page, it is capable of contributing to the economy by way of creating massive employment for the teeming youths. In collaboration with Federal Ministry of Transport and Works, a lot of rehabilitation are ongoing in Nigerian ports, at One, at Warri, in Lagos, to ease congestion and improved connectivity. What the ministry is doing as at present is to ensure that we are also creating what we call dry ports. One will be created in Funtua in Katsina State to facilitate trade and to ensure that investors will not have to go to Lagos or Apapa for them to transfer their businesses. Implementation of National Simple Window and Port Community System Project. We are creating digital platforms, streamline compliance, automate port processes, and reduce bureaucratic bottlenecks. This initiative will enhance cargo movement, improve supply stream efficiency, and reinforce transport and logistics as the heartbeat of blue economy. Not only that, development of fish terminals and harbors for upgrading fish production in Nigeria to enhance fisheries logistics, improve supply chain efficiency, and boost revenue through increased export and job creation. Now, what the ministry is doing is to ensure that there are fish terminals being created, especially along that bed. And what the ministry wants to do is to ensure that across the 6 geopolitical zones, there will be depot terminals where fish will be distributed. The marine and blue economy, through Nigerian Shippers Council, has established inland dry ports to enhance trade facilitation, clearance ops, improving logistics efficiency, and expanding access to international market. Funtua Inland Dry Port in Katsina State, with operational facilities in Kano and Kaduna, have been established. What are the major potentials, in summary, in the blue economy? 1, employment opportunities. This is very, very important, because the army of graduates that we are funding out every year in our tertiary institutions is alarming, and something has to be done to address it quickly, because it turns to a conflagration. Food security. Food security. Nigeria spent average, we spend billions importing food on daily basis. And scientifically, those of us who are scientists, it's been proved that food from the sea is the best. I don't know how far it is true. I don't know. Scientifically, they say they say fish is the best meat, isn't it? Because it has no disease. So, if we can actually tap into it, we know that there are a lot of opportunities. Food with highly nutritive value are found from the sea. Tourism and infrastructure. This can improve the revenue profile of the country. Tourism. We have countries that rely solely on tourism. Sustainable energy. Waves, wind energy, renewable energy. So, climate change. Everybody is tilting towards solar power energy. Clean environment. Try to reduce pollution. Then, smart cities, shipping and port. I say that smart cities could be established, could be created. Shipping lines, ports be created. And when you take the whole of this together, you can see that Nigeria will be shifting. There will be a radical paradigm shift from relying 70% of our revenue from oil. And we could know that in doing this, Nigeria will be better positioned. Clean environment, devoid of rancor, devoid of fighting over resource control, this and that. So everybody will be on the same page. I think we have started on a right footing by the grace of God. I believe blue economy is a stimulant that can stimulate this economy. If the right policies are formulated and if the government can properly harness and make use of these policies, I believe it's a good way to go. Thank you so much for igniting your passion.
The acting director of studies, members of faculty, participants. Please let's give the guest lecturer another resounding round of applause. Thank you very much for Dr. Gio Fadeji, representing the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy. The lecture, I would say, has opened our minds and our heads to what we expect. In a nutshell, the ministry is looking towards this institution to see how it can leapfrog that sector. So a lot will be expected from our just inaugurated participants, and so they are going to likely, or you will be the ones to, pull this sector into getting to its practical form. We are now in the interactive session, and so the guest lecturer will take, if there are any questions from the lecture, contributions, first from the participants, then thereafter members of faculty, and finally the acting director of studies will sum up. So we'll start with the participants, starting from study group 1. I'll take one question from each group. Starting from the man raising his hand. Is that group 1? Which group is this? Any question from group 1? Please, where's the mic?
Good afternoon. My name is Lawal Hussein. I'm a member of Study Group 1, sponsored by Zamfara State Government. My question is, we have any statistics?
Your name again? We can't hear you.
Lawal Hussein.
Huh?
Lawal Hussein.
Okay.
Now my question is...
From where?
From, sponsored by Zamfara State Government, by the government of Zamfara State.
Continue.
All right. The question is, do we have statistics as to the level of contributions of the blue economy at present to the GDP of Nigeria?
Study group 2. Captain Giginya.
Afternoon, sir. I am Captain A.A. Giginya, sponsored by the Nigerian Navy. Sir, the foundation of all activities within the maritime sector is hinged on availability of reliable and updated data. My question is, what is the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy doing to liaise with agencies like the Nigerian Navy and the National Hydrographic Agency that was recently established in order to collect and analyze updated data, which is critical to formulate and to frame policies and strategies that will drive the blue economy in Nigeria? Thank you, sir.
That's study group 2. Now we are going to 3. Study group 3. Where's the mic? Give him, he's raising his hand now. We cannot hear you.
I'm Chuks Anobose, Study Group 3, sponsored by the Department of State Services. My concern, sir, is the issue of flooding. I understand that a part of the flooding issue that affects us is a release of water from a dam in Cameroon. And then we have certain rivers also in Nigeria that overflow their banks. I think this is a matter of concern that the ministry, probably as we continue our studies, should look into how do we harness these overflows to benefit as we go into studying blue economy. Thank you.
Study group 4. Are you the only one raising your hand there? I think enough of the Navy. I think another person should. Let's hear from the Air Force man. Maybe there's a perspective he has.
I am Group Captain O.F. Bankole, sponsored by the Nigerian Air Force. Sir, in the last 1 year since the establishment of the ministry, sir, we are aware that the major problem in Nigeria is duplication of responsibility. Sir, can you make any clarification if some of the ministries that are in charge of most of the infrastructure that has been handed over to the Ministry of Marines and Blue Economy has been cleared? An example is the ministry in charge of the ports for now. Thank you, sir.
Study group 5. Study group 5. Which group are you?
5. I am Pascal Oguno, a professor of law, sponsored by Nigerian Bar Association. My question, sir. Some time ago, we had the issues of dumping of toxic waste in some of our coastal lines. I wonder what the ministry is doing to combat this. The second question, sir, is how many nautical miles is actually allocated to Nigeria as a sovereign nation? Thank you.
Six. You're in 5. 6, okay. No, sit down. 5 have taken their question, so 6. If we exhaust this one, after that, if the guest lecturer has the appetite to take more questions, we'll do that. But now we'll just take one from each group. Continue.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Dr. Luwakobi Ayodele Abiola, sponsored by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. My name is Dr. Oluwatobi Ayodele Abiola. I am Dr. Oluwatobi Ayodele Abiola, sponsored by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. My question goes thus. Sir, is there any provision for a fund where young entrepreneurs, like an intervention fund, where young entrepreneurs can access and invest in the blue economy? 2, is the government looking at legislation that would give like a 10-year moratorium so that you don't pay tax over a number of years
Just keep it one question at a time. So thank you. I think you've given us one question. The next group, story group 6. Oh, sorry, 7. The man with in front.
Okay. My name is Ome Mwapoku, sponsored by the Office of the Head of Service of the Federation. Thank you, sir, for the lecture. I want to know, from the standpoint of the ministry, what blue economy means, the scope, the stretch, and the coverage of blue economy. I want a perspective and, the parastatals under the new ministry, and what collaboration or liaison that you have with NIMASA, with Ports Authority, and with all those other agencies that handled the activities that you've now taken over, and whether the ministry has taken inventory, conducted an inventory or survey of what its duties should be as a new ministry. I want to understand, okay, thank you. He said I should make it short.
Thank you very much. I don't know whether you want to respond.
Thank you. Okay, let me start from the rear. My brother, Mr. Okonko, from Office of Head of Service. You are asking about the scope, these parastatals under the ministry. Well, government is continuing. And the parastatals under blue economy. One, we have NIMASA, we have Nigerian Post Authority, we have Nigerian Shippers Council, we have clearing, forwarding, something. Nigerian Inland Waterways. Those are the agencies that are under blue economy for now. And when I want to link that with the question someone asked, that have they taken over all the agencies? I think when somebody asked that question, that have they transited, have they? Now, the process of transition is not going to be so sudden, because there are a lot of things that are involved. Because if we don't want to make mistake, things must be done properly. And there's a joint committee by Ministry of Transportation, and Marine and Blue Economy to actually work out the modalities of separating the duties, the mandate, and the functions, so that to reduce or eliminate friction. That is very, very important. And this you cannot achieve in a jiffy. So it has to be painstakingly done so that the right thing will be done. And a lot of sectors are involved. We have the legal, we have the professionals, we have the engineers, we have the security experts trying to work out the details of what to remain in transportation and what to go to blue and marine economy. That is ongoing. A committee has been set up, and the two ministers are overseeing what is going on there. But it is not what can be concluded in a jiffy, because we don't want to make a mistake. Dr. Oluwatobi, you say, is there any provision for youth where young entrepreneurs can access and invest in blue economy? Maybe there's a fund that youth can. Well, for now, I think that's why the minister is saying that those are the areas that should be factored into what will make up this particular ministry. For now, there's nothing like that. But it's a critical element that will ginger the youth that this sector, if I be saying I'm unemployed, but there are opportunities here. So that will form part of the policies. It's a critical element. That's why I said, I can say the ministry is a tabula rasa for now. It's a clean slate where we welcome ideas, because ideas rule the world. That is it. We are in a mental age. Idea rules the world. Anything that could be useful to upstate this ministry is welcomed. And the ministry is ready to partner and fund as long as it is justifiable. It's a critical element. And the youth will be encouraged to do that. There should be a pool of funds that if you do this, either you pay something like this student loan for something like that. This is a sector that people should invest in. I think it's worth doing. It's a very, very germane question. The issues of toxic waste in coastline, how to combat this? Yes, I think this is also another critical aspect, because we remember the cocoa in Delta, cocoa dam, toxic waste that was dumped. I think up to tomorrow, nobody could account for how the thing. I think many years ago, we were in this country. We were adults now. We grew up, so people were going back and forward. Who from where? At least it was shipped now. They're supposed to trade. They to be able to trace the importer, the consignee, or as the case may be, because you can't send the quantum of that waste, toxic waste, without the owner. So those are things, as a legal luminary, as a legal factor, those are the area you should research into and factor into the policy, that to mitigate future occurrence, this, and this should form. That's how I said, it's supposed to be an omnibus document that will involve almost every act. No area, no sectors will be left untouched. That's an area that wants to research into, that to avoid toxic waste being dumped in any coastal line. How do we mitigate effect as a lawyer? And that's area that is researchable. Then, Group Captain Bankole, duplication of responsibility, ministry in charge of port. Okay. There's no, the duties are clearly delineated. What transport does differs from what blue economy does. So there is no ambiguity about it. The mandate is clear. Transport is now handling railway, isn't it? Marine is handling maritime. So there are two things, there are two issues clearly. It's not ambiguous at all. It's been clearly defined, and you know what to do, what A will do, what B will do. So it's been separated, and they be given the mandate, and there is a extract memo approved by Federal Executive Council what each and all of them should do. So there is no problem about that. Then Mr. Sook, issue of flooding, release of water from dams, especially from Lado dams, so overflowing the bank. How do we harness this overflow to benefit the country? This another, because I know that in some landlocked countries, we are very lucky, we have plenty of water. Unlike Burkina Faso, Niger, Chad, those landlocked countries where Sudan, you don't have water. When rain falls, what do? They collect this water, store them in a place, and make use of them throughout the year. So it's another researchable area, that what can we do with this volume of water that is being wasted, even ravaging, destroying properties, farms, settlements, and all the rest of them. Can't we do something to affect this water and convert them to dry season farming? That's why, the first sentence I said was that, I said, with their rate of intellectual error, I said Nigeria needs not being poor. That was the first sentence I said when I mounted the podium. We need not be poor, because we can do with the rainfall we have in Nigeria, we should be able to do dry season farming throughout the year. So it's another area that is researchable, that how can we convert this volume of water being wasted that people are converting to resources in other countries. So it's another researchable area that the policy, the expert here, so write something about. What can we do? It's a topic that we can do. Converting abundance of water resources to so. It's a researchable topic with the dependent and independent variables. And from there, the problems, the statement, and all the rest of them, what has been done in other areas, the data, the analysis, the geographical zones. Can you transport the water from one place, or is it going to be north central or south or southeast? Which area can be? And all that. So then your recommendation and conclusions. It's a researchable topic. Something can be done about it. And the expected outcome at the end of the year, at the end of something, what can you gain? This is the amount of food we can produce. This is what. This is how to transport it to areas where there's no water, and all the rest of them. These are scientifically proved. So I believe it's a very, very wonderful area. Then, Guru Captain You said something is on availability of reliable data. Okay, like with Nigerian levy. Okay, ideological. Yeah. You're asking what can the ministry do to liaise and collaborate with Navy to obtain data from Navy and hydrological agency to formulate policy. Yes, there's no doubt about it. Data is necessary for you to make an informed and reliable decision. And there's no gainsaying that for blue economy to actually perform optimally and to achieve its mandate, they have to collaborate with the Navy for them to be able to gather information about piracy and all the rest of them. Then ideological agencies to know the quantum of rain, the quantum of ideological, the biodiversity and all the rest of them. There's no doubt about it. It's very, very necessary. And it's going to be part of what the ministry should do. That's why I said, I haven't been here. I'm going to write my report about. And by the time the participant will be submitting, the institute will be submitting its report at the end of the year, I think it will be, the ministry will be better positioned to actually perform optimally. I buy into it. There is no doubt about it, because we need data for us to be able to make an informed decision, because we will not just be operating anyhow. Then the first question, you're asking what is the statistics, what is the contribution of blue economy to GDP? Did I get the question? Now, for now, it might be too early to be able to gauge, to be able to say. The ministry was created last year, August. We are just in March. In fact, what we are doing now is that, you know, change is always very, very difficult, and especially in this part of the world. Transportation and blue economy, most of the staff that are still there, I will let you know that we are still in the process of transiting. So until that is finalized, because they are interwoven, so until it has become a stand-alone ministry, we are still occupying the same building. Most of the directors, they are still doing so until it is clearly delineated. I cannot categorically say for now that this is the quantum of the contribution of blue economy to GDP. If I say that, that means I'm telling a lie. So I cannot say that for now. But I believe in the foreseeable future, by the time everything is in order, we'll be able to say this is what blue economy. But we are optimistic, we are futuristic, we are hopeful that this is a very enviable, this is a very laudable, and this is a very resourceful ministry that is capable of transforming the economy of Nigeria. Then a question was asked that whether the ministry has taken an inventory of all the properties or what belongs to the ministry. That is being done for now. It's government property, so it's not individual. So there's a committee that has been set up to do that, and that is ongoing. That is what I can say for now.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fadiji, for those responses. As I said earlier, it is clear that going forward there will be a lot of collaboration, liaising with this new ministry and the institute. A lot will be expected from the institute, since our theme is entwined with the ministry. We expect a lot of brainstorming to do so that we assist this ministry to charter these new waters it has found itself. Having said that, I will now move to the members of faculty if they have any comments, observations. DIG.
Thank you, sir. I am Deputy Inspector General of Police, Leye Uyibade, retired MNI. Let me first of all appreciate the lecturer for a job well done. Can we appreciate him one more time? Thank you so much, sir. We are now in the real assignment because this is the first lecture, the inaugural lecture. And so I want participants to start taking serious notes of all the issues that have been raised, because this is the blue economy and we are hearing now from the real people that are right on the spot. And so many issues have been raised this afternoon, touching on research and development initiatives, infrastructural development, and enhancing marital security. I'm just going to contribute on these three areas, because you touched on those areas that we need to harness to be able to get our blue economy, to do human capital development, and really touch other areas in terms of even food security. When we're talking about the research and development, I was just thinking that going forward, there might be a need, and I know Director of Studies is already taking note that we might need some brainstorming sessions to really galvanize more of research, because there are so many things to research in this particular area. You've talked about the fishing, talked about even the activities of pirates, touching about security, because when we are looking at how to harness, there are challenges along the way. So we might need some brainstorming sessions. And I want to recall, at the time I was Principal Staff Officer to the Inspector General of Police some times ago, 2005 to be precise, I was part of those that worked on the Onne port. And so when you're talking about infrastructural development, I think there is a lack of continuity on policies. A lot of policies were made at that time to make that port to function. And I could get you when you were even talking about what you saw in our port in Lagos. Where years ago, we've been talking about how to do port reformation. So I think we need to look at the issue of lack of continuity of policies from government to government that have really kept us standby. I want to appreciate your contribution, and you have already given us your words that you are going to collaborate with NIPS. And let me just say this, that you are the end user of this product. So you are supposed to be so excited, and I can see the enthusiasm in you. You are welcome, and I promise you we are ready to cooperate, to collaborate, and bring out all that you need to make the blue economy function. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Dr. Muri, I think I saw your hands up. Dr. Murtala.
Good afternoon, and I want to appreciate the speaker again. I tease out two major points for the participants. Number one is the fact that, like he said, there are alignment and realignment regulatory issues still going on, but we need to look at these agencies, and they are existing already. For instance, as far as sustainable energy is concerned in Nigeria, it is the Energy Commission of Nigeria that take care of it. Part of it is also taken care by the Ministry of Power. So there will be definitely need for the agency, the ministry, to collaborate with these agencies as far as sustainable renewable energy, ocean thermal, tidal, wind will be concerned. There is also an agency called Nigeria Marine Geoscience Agency. They are in Inaugural. That's the headquarters in Inaugural. They are under the Ministry of Solid Minerals at the moment. But their responsibility and mandate is actually to look at the marine geosciences. So they are the one that is concerned with deep sea mining. Deep sea mining is one of the areas of concern under the blue economy. Deep sea mining. These guys in the Nigerian Marine Geosciences Agency work on, do a lot of exploration around marine, coastal area, and so on and so forth. And there is NIWA, the Nigeria Inland Waterways Agency. They are not, at the moment, they are not under marine and blue economy. But they take care of the rivers, and including river ports in Nigeria. The speakers, I want to believe, will be aware about NIWA. And lastly, there is an area that is very important, and that is marine blue biotechnology. This is the technology around making use of mineral resources for pharmaceutical activity. We have National Agency for Biotech in Nigeria, and there could be need for the agency, for the Ministry of Marine and the Blue Economy to look at collaboration around that. And that is a message to the participants that there are areas that you have to look at and begin to see how we will be talking about political policy alignment and realignment. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much. A quick one from Professor Achimogu, then after AVM Marquis.
Thank you, moderator, for this opportunity. I'm Oluwatolani Achimogu, and I'm a professor of software engineering and ICT. Now, my question is, or my contribution, please, I'll have a question too. Now, I want to talk about redundancies in effort. Because if, you know, this the research fellow just mentioned that there's a ministry that looks into, there's a body that looks into deep waters and all that. And when we are talking about these deep waters, I want to say that the Navy would do the same. They will look into it also. Is there any way that your ministry, is there anything they are putting together to make sure that these redundancies are reduced? That's just for that. Now, when we started this, I got to know that there are fishing area that are illegal. Now, there are some fishes that you just go out and buy, and you'll be guilty, because when a thief has stolen something and you are buying it from the thief, then you may be guilty as well. How do we look into this and make sure that we are not a culprit also? We are not falling victim of buying what somebody has illegally fished. That's for that too. And looking at all these bodies that are looking into blue economy, that means it is governed. And there will be some areas of this water that are ungoverned. I would really appreciate if you can just give us, even if it's 1 minute, something about this ungoverned space on the water. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your presentation. and it has also triggered, interest among participants and faculty. I have some question for the presenter. For clarity of purpose and, because this is the inaugural lecture, and since we are interrogating it, I want to ask, before I make my contribution, conceptually, operationally, and practically, is there a difference between marine economy and blue economy? Conceptually, operationally, and practically. Now, I know your ministry is just about a year plus or about more than that. I would like to find out if you have considered putting in motion, necessary actions needed to position blue economy and as an economic force multiplier to precipitate sustainable development. I also want to find out if you are considering conducting or even sponsoring a research into comparative analysis of the blue economy with countries that are already maximizing the benefit in that environment. Also, if you can, I want to know how far you have been able to communicate the benefit within blue economy with stakeholders in decision-making process, because I think communication is very key for this new ministry for buy-in of others. Also, what are you doing with respect to guiding decision-making about the blue economy in both the public and private sector? Lastly, the step the ministry is taking to mobilize the commitment by government and all relevant stakeholders to the vision of a sustainable blue economy. And we say that talk is cheap. So what are you doing to act to ensure that this vision is turned to reality? Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much with that, with those questions. So I will invite Dr. Okay, that will be all. Thank you for your comments. I will, at this juncture, invite the Acting Director of Studies to sum up the session.
Can we please give a round of applause to... So that round of applause is for the lecture. Can we now give another round of applause to all of you who slept throughout the lecture? Please, the first rule is that you don't slouch in your chairs. Please sit up. All of you who are slouched, please sit up. Because when you slouch, the tendency is for you to start to snore. Somebody was snoring on that side. That said, thank you very much, Dr. Fajiti, for that wonderful lecture. You have set the tone for Sec 47, and I think he's giving you a lot of food for thought, and he's whet your appetite, and he's also challenged you that they're waiting hungrily and eagerly for the policy brief and the paper that will come out from this Sec. So he's giving you a lot of things. Some of the questions that you asked are some of the things that you will explore and tease out during your 10 months here. For those of you who came here without a paper and pen or even stylus, don't do that tomorrow. From tomorrow, please, you need to take notes. You are not here on a public outing. You are here for a studious outing. So thank you so much. He's given us potentials, which are the potentials that you are going to look at. Most likely, one of the study groups is going to go and visit the Ministry for Blue Economy and some of these other parastatals that have been mentioned. So you'll be able to interact with them and tease out all the issues that you need to look at and come up with recommendations for the Nigerian government to be able to give the full potential of the blue economy to that ministry. For the first time, I think this time we have an expert in the house in the blue economy section, and we have a theme coordinator who is going to be anchoring the theme. Rear Admiral Mustafa has been appointed as a theme coordinator. He's an expert. So he's going to be helping you to chart the course for your recommendations towards the Pali report. So you are going to start early to harvest issues and potentials of the blue economy going forward. So it will make your job easier towards the end. You will be able to coordinate with him all the modules and policy briefs and things like that. I think the potentials of the blue economy are immeasurable, and it will be very interesting to see how we're going to explore it together and come up with recommendations that will propel the ministry. On that note, I thank you very much, and on behalf of the Director General, I would like, okay, that's after the both of them. I need to give him a plaque. So if you can come forward, because if I pick from here, you won't see me. Okay. On behalf of the Director General of the National Institute and Management of Kuru, National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, I'd like to present you with this plaque. Thank you for your coming. Thank you for the opportunity to be able to benefit from your vast knowledge in the blue economy terrain. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the acting DOS, for your summing up. At this point, I want to call on Amina Saliu to deliver the vote of thanks to the guest lecturer. Come down.
Our inaugural lecturer, the Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, represented by Director J.O. Fadiji, the Acting Director of Studies of the National Institute, Barrister Nima Salman Manem, and I, members of faculty, my colleagues, the newly inaugurated members of the Senior Executive Course 47-2025 of the National Institute, members of faculty, good afternoon. My name is Amina Saluho, and I'm a participant sponsored by the MacArthur Foundation. Inaugural lecture, sir. The past 1 hour has been very enriching and stimulating. It has been an agenda-setting conversation, and you have given us the compass for the next 10 months as we examine the theme of our study, the blue economy and sustainable development in Nigeria, issues, challenges, and opportunities. I must also thank our cerebral faculty for their interventions this afternoon, all of which would help us. It's therefore my great opportunity to thank through you, sir, the Honorable Minister for this afternoon, and to say that we remain committed on behalf of the Director General, the management, and my fellow participants, of course, Senior Executive Course 47, 2025. We thank you, sir, and hope that when next the Institute calls on you, you will honor us. And as you write your report, sir, please remember to share with us the blueprint for the ministry to aid us in our reflections, our research, and our dialogue. We pray for journey mercies for you, sir, and God's blessings. Thank you.
With the vote of thanks, our guest lecturer, Acting Director of Studies, this marks the end of the lectures for today. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Okay, so participants, there are some rules here that we have. I deliberately just allow some of them to pass as the first day. When you are asking questions, we don't want double-head questions. Just go straight to the point, be concise, and just straight to the topic. Don't deviate outside another area. So endeavor you have that in your mind. So this is the last time we'll have a series of questions, instead of us, we have said just one question per person, per syndicate, or per study group. This will be the last time we'll entertain such. Now some information about, first and foremost, those of you that have, would I say, faulty passports. I think information has circulated about the requirements you need to give the protocol. Am I correct? So endeavor you do that because she's carrying that information tomorrow morning. Immediately you leave here, just go and get the details and the requirements you need and pass it on to the necessary department. Now, secondly is on the issue of your medicals. Some of you have not really submitted some information, and there's a review they are doing. So as soon as you leave this place, go back with your papers and come with this particular information. Your abdominal ultrasound reports, X-rays, ECG, mammogram for the ladies, and Pap smears for the women. I would advise you just carry all the necessary medical information you have. I don't know who are the ones that have faulty documents or whatever the case may be. So all of you, quickly go there, clear yourself with the medical department before you disengage for the day. Anything from faculty? I can see some of you standing. If not, Professor Kura. Okay, yes. A vote of thanks. We give a template. You are still struggling to really get into it. Go and look at it thoroughly and just try and stick to what we have. It's enough for you to just, give the vote of thanks. You don't need to add too much. If you stick to that template, believe me, you have less complications while you are delivering such. As I said, Going forward, you are going to be introducing, you are going to be moderating, and you are going to be giving vote of thanks, likely from next week. So we're going to have drop a list of those that will take those responsibilities in the programs coming in a few days' time. So aside this, go and tidy up the information I just gave you now. If nothing, so have a nice day. Those of you in the Air Force, I told you we'll have a picture. Quickly come and...
naval officers too, just come quickly to the front of the hall. Naval officers, quickly.
Okay, directing staff too. We want to have a picture, since we are in uniform today, if that will be possible. All of us will just take a quick one outside the...
Captain Fane should coordinate that for naval officers only, quickly to the front of the hall.
So directing staff, as I was saying, outside the hall, if you can have a quick one, picture, please do us the honor.